And so now let's talk about the wave of fortune. So, guys, the wave of fortune is basically reality transurfing is basically the wave of fortune. It's basically turning and flipping common sense upside down, right? Um, Living by your rules, following your heart, and embracing the earth crafted, you know, health, embracing divine, the divine being you are. It's basically a lot into the hermetic principles and understanding and harnessing these laws and utilizing them into your daily life, and being in flow, in harmony with this world, with nature, with God. This is basically riding a wave of fortune. But let's dive into turning and flipping any negative event that you perceive as bad into good. So this is one of the very important principles in riding the wave of fortune, as to, if you, for example, meditate and you want to attract your ideal life. So the way you do it is, when you meditate daily, you shift your lifeline into favorable places, into places and sectors of the alternative space where you are thriving, where you are having this like amazing lifestyle that you want to have. And if something happens when you are transitioning into that lifestyle that is not pleasant in your perception, don't be pissed off, right? Automatically remember that, like, look, like, you have a road, and this road has two ends, right end and left end, right? The left is to the hell, the right is to blessed life. And so if you perceive every situation as a road to blessed life, then you will end up being in the blessed life. One thing that happened yesterday, or pay my employees, and I could not transfer the cash, for example. So, this app or this service just turned everything down. I called them, they told me no, like, your account is suspended, blah, blah, blah. So I immediately was like, oh, thank God, he's saving me from something. And what ended up happening is I found a better service that got, like, less rates and deposited money directly to their, debit cards directly. So it would not take me, like, it wouldn't take 4 days as previously, or it wouldn't be like higher. And so it was cheaper, it was faster, within minutes. And so I was like, damn, imagine if I was like shit, and I was pissed off, and I was angry. And can you imagine, can you think of what would happen? More I would attract more situation, right? If I would really be pissed off about it. But I wasn't. And I immediately thought that, hey, God is trying to save me from something, so let's see what it is, right? Or maybe it's not good. It wasn't initially good idea to use that service, for example. And you can, you can apply this principle into your life. So if you, for example, hate your job and something happens at work, you end up being fired. You might think of it like, hey, damn, like, it was really comfortable. Now you would embrace the unknown, and you don't like that, right? You are not into this mindset of embracing the unknown and challenging. Don't think about it in a bad way. Embrace it. Think of it as a good and fresh start, right? Maybe you have attracted a new lifestyle, a new job, and so you had to be kicked from the previous one to be aligned with the new job, right? So, for example, just this is basically flipping and turning any event. So let's imagine an event trying to flip you, but you think of it as a good event. You end up riding the wave. The wave goes down, trying to, like, not the wave, like, let's say, situations try to put you down, but you'd be like, nope, I'm glad this happened, it's good. And then, like, you're basically riding the wave of fortune. So if you slip, you remember that, hey, it's actually good, it's not bad, and you'll get back to the wave, and things go smoothly, and you end up actually attracting good things. And one of the other things that I want to mention is coordination. You, like, by embracing your inner guardian, by trusting your inner voice. Everyone has an inner voice. I believe you do guys have an everyone has an inner voice where there is that talks inside you and says, hey, this is right, this is wrong, right? People want to, like, sometimes people call you to parties or let's hang out, and you'd be like, no, should I go, should I not go? You have this voice inside you. So this voice is your inner guardian. You have to trust that voice. When there is something that inner guardian tells you, listen to it. It's your intuition, it's your heart. There's difference between them, but basically they work in alignment to your service. They would never put you down. If you meet some people and your intuition, your inner voice tells you that there's something off, if it tells you that that person can be trusted, or if the first impression of the person is that they are, let's say, a liar, a psychopath, or narcissistic, you would ask yourself why you end up attracting those kinds of people, right? Maybe you are addicted to hate, but that's another topic. But basically, listen to your intuition. Not always would you attract, like, sometimes you meet people, or you, as a, like, let's say, as an entrepreneur or as a person, you would meet different kinds of people. And the only thing that matters is that if you listen to yourself when you deal with people, right? If everything seems logically right and good, there's something that inside you, that there's something inside of you that doesn't quite like what's happening. Listen to it. So by embracing your inner guardian, you would actually you can be detached from life, from the situations around you. If you remember the Matrix movie, Neo, right, when he gets immersed into this game, right, into this 3D world. And so if anything happens, right, you are aware. Observe, right? Observe the world around you. Don't be involved. Just observe. So for example, when you refuse to help some people, they might try to upset you and hook you, right? They might try to say words for you to defend yourself. If you observe what this person is trying to do, like, even if you learn some skills, I'm not telling you to go and read Joe Navarro's book, The FBI, How to Read Body Language. And it's not only about body language. It's basically detaching yourself from what's happening on the external world, right? Like you are in a game, you are observing what's happening around you, but you are calm and you are stable. This is mental strength. And not being shocked. Like, for example, when you go to your friend's house and and you basically have a birthday, you may anticipate that they might smash a cake on your face. If it's April the 1st, you may anticipate that you would get jokes, and maybe some people are trying to scare you, right? And so that's very bad for your heart. Maybe you have those kinds of friends, or maybe it's Halloween, right? Try to anticipate that someone might try to scare you, and when they do, you are not going to be shocked. So don't try to detach yourself from this 3D game world. And when you do, you would not be affected. You would see the situation and basically logically try to flip it into a positive outcome. But New Zealand also tells and talks in his book about waking up. So that's when you wake up. When you wake up, you basically are conscious and and aware of yourself and your actions, and you actually do things intentionally, and you ask yourself, why are you doing them? What's the purpose behind them? And if you are asleep, you don't remember, like, you don't think too much of what you're doing. You're basically just doing the task that you're doing in a routinely manner, like you're cooking something, you're doing it the way you have programmed yourself to do. You use your subconscious mind, you're programming. Like when you drive, sometimes you don't think about the road, and you'll be like, hey, I just got out of the office and now I'm home. Wow, the road was fast. That's exactly what happened when you slept. Like, You got immersed into this 3D world that you completely forgot about your inner guardian and completely forgot to remain detached and remain focused on the like on yourself, on your goals. So when you lose yourself, when you are sleeping in a waking life, you may react to circumstances or situations that you perceive to be bad, and you can end up attracting worse situations. Remember, the alternative space is a quantum field that everything exists there, right? On a metaphysical level, good energy, bad energy, and I believe that's where devils exist. And so let's call bad pendulums a devil, and you react negatively, you emanate this anger. And if you emanate this anger, let's say power entity, like you feed the devils, right? You feed negative pendulums, and they end up throwing many hooks onto you so that you give them more negative energy. And when you give them more negative energy, you would basically attract hell. So you would not attract luck and positive situations and circumstances. So the same thing is if you are happy. If something or someone is trying to piss you off, you can basically smile about it and be like, "That's so funny, man." Uh, like those people are trying to get me, like, but they can't, right? Like you are smiling. If it's a joke, or if you are not aware, like if you have not worked with yourself and your mind, your brain, your soul, if you have not yet aligned yourself, you have not meditated a lot, you can have some chaos in your life. And so by waking up and realizing that, hey, you know um, this is just like, you are aware of what's happening around you, you are not taking it seriously, then and you are awake. The more you are awake, the less the less people or negative energy can influence you. The more you are awake, the harder it is to control you, to manipulate you, to drive you crazy. The more you are awake, the more you are aware of what's happening, of what, let's say for example, this person is trying to do, why the situation is happening, right? So you're basically taking it as a blessing. You're taking the situation that happens to you as a blessing. Wow, that's a blessing. I'm sure that's a blessing. I'm not, like, you can tell yourself that you're not like, you can't be sure why it's a blessing, but you can play a game. Let's find out. Let me find out, why is it a blessing? Let's see. And then you will end up finding out that's a real blessing, right? I think you have a lot of examples looking back at your own life. How many things that happened that you perceived as unpleasant but ended up being stepping stones onto something new? I'm sure a lot of you would relate to it, and a lot of you would understand what I'm speaking about. So this is basically one of the concepts of coordination, is basically trusting the flow and remembering that everything that happens is happening for your own good. Especially if you are, like, what I found out, or in my opinion, in my experience, if I actually work on myself and on my goals, things go smoothly and everything goes as planned. But if I procrastinate and I want to change my life, then life throws circumstances to make me do this stuff, like to force me get up through pain sometimes, or and just do the things that I wanted to do, right? So if you want to quit your job and you're protracting this resignment, you're protracting your actions, you procrastinate, it may end up happening that you get kicked off. Something happens that may cause you to be fired, right? But if you do it yourself, you are attracting, but if you do it yourself, nothing bad would happen and you would basically be on track. So I think it's like basically also attracting those things, right? So you have to be kind of working, like, maybe it's not your thing to work hard, but as humans, if you read psychology, there is always a goal that a person strives for. Even a drug addict has a goal to get another shot, right? No matter what you look at, who you look at, everyone has a goal. A scammer wants to scam more people. A businessman wants to secure more deals. President wants to stay longer, right? Everyone has a goal. The mother wants something, the daughter wants something. Like there is like every human wants something, and when they achieve it, there is another thing. It's a never-ending process. And so, if that's the case, then align yourself with your intentions. Activate your actions and imagine yourself doing the things you want to achieve. So, for example, if you want the sexy body, the like big muscles, imagine yourself pushing up, doing push ups, imagine yourself doing pull ups in the gym. And by imagining this, you actually program your mind and yourself. You actually attract this situation first, and when you do it, you end up manifesting this vision. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and that's the best way to actually do things. You are basically like um, impelling yourself or compelling yourself to do it, right? So when you imagine those actions, um, for example, if you expose yourself to a lot of nudity, that's my opinion, you would end up behaving the same way. So what you feed your mind, what you feed your inner, what you feed your mind and heart with is what would end up manifesting. So if you imagine yourself like working out, you would just basically work out, you would enjoy it, and the side result of that would be the sexy body, the attractive muscles. So that would be the case. And um, and the last thing is I want to add is, if someone is bothering you or if something bad is happening in your life, for example, if it's specifically a person, right? One of the things that you can protect yourself is send toward that person positive energy, even if it's hard, even if you hate that person. Imagine what that person wants. For example, if they want to feel happy, like if they want more money, if they want to be healthier, if they want to have leisure time, basically just try to guess and imagine them having stuck pile of money, feeling happy. When you send this energy thought, they would be very, very, very positive towards you, and they may stop bothering you. If there's something that hounds that person and they ask you for help or try to hound you, they will stop.